been a little while since I made a video, but now that I'm cancer free, I wanted to make a video again with the help of these little bunnies. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I've got two bunnies. 9 months ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. I was told I was going to be wearing a stoma bag. This was 99.999% certainty it was going to happen. And here I am, cancer free. The cancer's gone. There's a small scar, which is, I believe, from where the radiotherapy was done, and I'm not going to have to wear a stoma bag. So it's a really strong result for me. Just to let you know, my journey, I had to have 3 rounds of chemo. After the 3rd round of chemo, I stopped midway through it on the medication. I had the IV, and then halfway through the medication, I had to stop because I had an infection. Got really ill. I was meant to have more chemo after that. I had to postpone it, and then eventually they went ahead with the radiotherapy. 25 rounds of that. The plan was to go into chemotherapy after that, and then an operation to remove the cancer, which, as I say, was stage 3. It was a pretty big tumor, and it spread into lymph nodes. But when they did the MRI scan after the radiotherapy, they couldn't find the cancer anymore. The cancer was gone. The cancer was not there. Great. Look, it's incredible. You know, I mean. This news is not brand new news. You know, I learned this about probably 6 weeks ago. I was ecstatic, and yeah, I'm finally ready to share my story and share my journey here. I wanted to share the things that I've changed. I think diet was a really important one. So even though I have no doubt that the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy massively helped, of course, I'm sure it did. There are some certain changes which I feel were perhaps equally as important, if not more so. So I changed my diet completely. I used to have a real problem with binge eating, overeating. I do it all the time. You know, fast food takeaways, unhealthy living style. I hated my job. Anyone who's seen my videos before know that I'm not a big fan of, you know, work. I find the whole corporate lifestyle is just depressing. So I hated my life. I hated my job. I was miserable. And this sounds totally crazy, but I kind of feel that my depressions and my anxiety almost manifested this cancer. And I know that sounds absolutely nuts, but perhaps you have to hear the rest of my journey just to understand maybe where that came from. So at the time when I was miserable, as I say, I wasn't eating well, drinking, overeating, snacks, puddings, ice cream. I'd sit down. It wasn't uncommon just to have a 2 o'clock in the afternoon, eat an entire tiramisu, an entire tray. Crazy, really. Crisps as well, chocolate. All that now is behind me. So for the last probably 4 months maybe, I started this probably just after my radiotherapy. So after my radiotherapy, there was I think probably 6 or 8 weeks where I had it was literally just a recovery stage where you just wait to have the next scan to see to see the true extent of the cancer. I changed diets a little bit before this, but this was extreme at this point. Once the radiotherapy had finished, I cut out all the snacks. I start my day with a ginger shot. I'd taken sugar out of my tea. I'd have a lion's mane in the morning, and then I'd just have healthier meals. A lot more fruit, no chocolate, no sugar, no crisps. And it seems like this played a big part of my diagnosis of eventually being cancer free. It still seems absolutely crazy to say. I can't emphasize how big the tumor was. The fact that it spread into my lymph nodes. If I'd have delayed going to the doctors by probably not a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe a couple of weeks, I suppose there's no certainty of that, but if I'd have delayed it for too much longer, a month, maybe 2, it could have been a really different scenario. That stage 3 where it spread into my lymph nodes, it could have spread into other organs, and we could have been looking at stage 4. That's how serious it was. So I think I'd like to just document some of the changes. I mean, I might actually make another video where I actually show some of the products that I had. Sounds simple, just such simple things, but I drink so much water now. I drink fizzy drinks. And seriously, I used to have at least probably 5 or 6 cups of tea per day, but I'd have 2 sugars in every single tea, and sometimes a cup of coffee every day as well. And like I say, takeaway probably once a week sometimes. You know, it was bad. It was bad. Sometimes twice a week. Um, yeah, like I say, I don't have a lot to add at this point. I just wanted to make this initial video. I'd made a video a while ago, you know, saying that I'd got cancer and saying how bad it was and how depressed I felt. Um, Now I'm, like I say, it's not just what I'm putting into my body that's changed, it's what I'm putting into my mind as well. And when I say maybe I manifested the cancer when I was depressed, the fact that they're telling me it's not even there anymore, it's insane. But my mindset is so different now. I'm positive, I'm upbeat, I'm happy, I'm loving life, just feeling good about life. And I think that's kind of had, you know, some sort of impact on my health. You know, I feel like I'm healthier for it. You know, I'm starting to exercise a little more. I used to exercise all the time when I was younger, and I'd stopped exercising completely, you know, and now I'm exercising again every day. So anyway, just a short video, just an update. Yeah, this is what it is. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I've got 2 bunnies. Now, cancer free. Yeah.